Introducing National Streaming Sports, live and on-demand sports talk programming that you can access 24/7. For the premier sports talk experience, tap into our Roku channel. Start your mornings with Mac and Jack covering all the weekend sports action. Then pour a cup and enjoy all the sports you can drink on the Coffee and Sports podcast. At midday, talk sports from east to west on the Coast to Coast podcast. Followed at night by some hot girl talk with Prim and Proper Sports featuring Sonja Pearson. Talk boxing on the Gloved Fist. Yankee fans tune in for Start Spreading the News. And there's more on the College Sports Huddle and Sports Scope with Robert Butler. There are 20 podcasts in all and 70 weekly shows giving us a 3.4-star viewer rating. To find us on Roku TV, search for National Streaming Sports on the Roku search bar. Click on the logo and you're in. National Streaming Sports, live and on-demand sports talk for America.
I'm Mac, CEO of National Streaming Sports Network and the host of the Mac and Jack Sports Show. And you're watching Our Lady of Sports, Sonja Pearson, host of Prim and Proper Sports. Thanks for watching.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Friday Night with the Fellas. I'm your host, co-host, James J. Train Martin, and my man A-Train next to me. And, of course, the birthday girl. She'll be back momentarily. She'll be in about 5 minutes. Sonja Pearson, she'll be in. But this is Prim and Proper Sports, Friday Night with the Fellas. You can watch us on Roku. Download the app. We're under the Streaming Sports Network. And you can also see us on YouTube and watch us on Facebook as well, and IG and TikTok. Catch some of the clips here and there. Man, we got a big night to talk about. It is Super Bowl weekend, and I am excited. I'm amped and jacked up. Hey, Train, how about you, man? First of all, how you doing?
I'm doing well. I hope you are doing fine, J-Train. I am, I wouldn't say necessarily jacked up. I am interested in how this game is going to go. So I'll be watching with a very inquiring mind. I'm interested to see. I pretty much know how it will go, but I'm interested to see how this will play out. But it's the Super Bowl. Can't ask for more.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, again, like and subscribe to Prim and Proper Sports. We're going to get into that later about the Super Bowl and who our pick is for the weekend. But we got some other news around here in sports. We're going to talk about maybe the football honors, who got the awards, the hardware, who took hardware home. And maybe we'll also talk about some of the trades, the big trades over the past weekend in the NBA and how that affects the teams going forward. But man, let's touch on the awards last night. I saw a few clips here and there, ESPN. I saw some communication regarding some of the voters who voted for the MVP. There seems to be a little bit of controversy between Josh Allen winning the award and over Lamar Jackson. Yeah. I'm gonna give you my take, and then I want to hear what you say. Look,
okay.
Josh Allen is deserving of the award. Let me put that out first and foremost. He played on a team that in the beginning that nobody thought was going to do anything. If it were me, I thought I picked the Jets to win that division in the AFC East. And then maybe Miami might have done something. I've heard that too as well. And then Josh Allen, superstar player, put these guys on his back. They lost Stephon Diggs. They lost a few other players here and there. They had James Cook. And you got a rookie in Keon Coleman. You don't know what you're getting there. And some of the big games that they played Kansas City, they played Detroit, and they beat those two teams. They gave Kansas City their only loss, and he had big moments, man. And so, look, the stats might not have been there in comparison to Lamar Jackson. But, look, again, I'm not mad at him winning the award. I just think that something needs to be done about the voting aspect because, to me, if you're first team All-Pro, which Lamar Jackson was, you should probably win the award as well. Because every statistical category that was there, he pretty much demolished everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, he had 900 rushing yards to go around, along with 4,000 yards, plus 41 TDs, and to 4 interceptions only. Pretty impressive, man. I think that's his best statistical year, even though he ran for 1,000, in his second year.
Second year, he beat big record. Yeah.
But still, I mean, just incredible numbers, and I think he should have won that award. But again, I'm not mad at Josh Allen winning the award. I just think they need to do something a little bit better in regards to how they're voting about these things. And then also, not any votes for Saquon Barkley. I think that's a bit of a sham as well. That's kind of strange that a guy runs for 2,000 yards. Obviously, he gets Offensive Player of the Year, but doesn't get any votes for the MVP honors. And that's kind of weird because he clearly was probably the best player on that team with Philadelphia offensively.
Yeah, he was.
Going back to Lamar and Josh Allen, A-Train.
I can say this. Yes, Lamar statistically was a tad bit better than Josh Allen. He threw for a few more yards. He rushed for a lot more. But you also got to look at it from a standpoint. You can't please everybody, right? I mean, if Lamar would have got voted in, you would have had your Josh Allen fanatics saying, no, he did much more with less. And I think that's what the committee was looking at. You said it, J-Train. You didn't even predict them to win, the AFC East. I didn't either. I thought with them losing Stephon Diggs, them trying to fill that gap, they were going to, kind of struggle in a sense. I still had them making the playoffs, but I didn't have them winning the East. I did have the Jets, unfortunately. I'm not a big Jets fan, but I had the Jets winning that. So when you take that in consideration, I would say that's the majority of us thought that. And Josh Allen did much more with less, made it an extra round. I just think, you gotta kind of say, like you said, you're not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. If Lamar would have got it, I wouldn't have been mad at it at all either. But I'm not mad that Josh Allen came away with that award, only because, in my opinion, just like you said, he did more with less. I do. I mean, you also got to take into consideration they threw Big King Henry back there for Lamar Jackson in the backfield. That offensive line is pretty good. You know what I'm saying? The receivers, I think talent-wise, I wouldn't say the offensive line is the best, but it's pretty good. But talent-wise, the receivers are there. Zay Flowers. He has Mark Andrews. It could have the pendulum could have swung either way. So with that being said, we do have to give a fair assessment and say, okay, I'll bow to Josh Allen getting an award over Lamar. But I don't think, in the future, I think those two are going to be doing it out for that MVP award because they're only going to get better. I just, it's just that's an individual award. I think we as a people, we cared about a little bit more from that standpoint than those guys. But I mean, they got to get over that hump. That's a huge hump to try to get over, J-Train. And there's Sonja, everybody.
I want to rebuttal that in a moment, but before we do that, let's welcome our host, the proprietor of Prim Proper Sports, is the birthday girl, Sonja Pearson. Welcome back, Sonja.
Welcome back.
I'm muted. Already showing my age. Thank you guys so much for welcoming me. Thanks to Pink Fan Fur, who shouts out us all the time on all of her networks. You guys check her out. She's also held it down, for me while I was out in Hawaii. I am severely jet lagged. I'm gonna be honest. I got back in this morning. And with a 5-hour time delay and a 12-hour flight, I've literally been flying since last night. So I'm extremely tired, guys. I've been from Hawaii to Seattle and from Seattle to Atlanta. And the weather was not the best in Seattle, so there were some unforeseen delays. But I'm extremely happy to be here. Shout out to my friend Jen, who insisted that I wear this on my show tonight. She got me a 50th birthday queen sash and crown. I told her I'd pull the crown out, but girl, the sash was a lot. But so shout out to Jen Thorne, my friend, who will be shortly following me in a few weeks. And thank you guys. It's so good to be back. And one thing about flying, you have time to catch up on all the sports news. And I did just that. So I'm very familiar with, you guys did an amazing job last week holding it down for me. So thank you very much for that. And it seems to be a small delay on my side. Are you guys seeing a lag over here?
Mm-hmm.
A
You
little,
guys
Oh yeah,
yes.
a little bit. Yeah.
are? All right, I'm gonna come back in. Okay, I'll be back, guys.
Okay. So
So
J
yeah,
Train, I would love to hear that rebuttal from what we were
yes.
talking about.
So I listened to James Jones on the show
Hmm.
on ESPN. He made a great point, and he
Hmm.
said, "I agree, what you said. Your assessment as far as what he literally had from a logical standpoint that makes sense. That's what MVP should be. How most valuable you are to your team and what you are in the league.
Yes.
But with that said, Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, these guys, even Tom Brady, they had great players around them when they won the MVP. So why are we knocking Lamar Jackson for the same thing? For having great players around him. I mean, and who's to say he didn't make Derrick Henry's life a lot easier by having the type of quarterback that can run an RPO to be able to allow him more space to get those big runs that he used to get
Yeah.
that he wasn't getting last season. Even partially, he was partially hurt, but when he came
Absolutely.
to the Ravens, it opened the door for him a little bit. I think they helped each other.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we can't knock Lamar for that, man. I mean, I think
No.
I did also hear something about voters fatigue. Again,
Hmm.
it's not Lamar's fault. I mean, it's like I heard Ryan Clark mention about LeBron James. The LeBron James should probably have more MVPs than he's had
Hmm.
uh, because
He did
I think
more with less.
he's
Yeah.
because he's really competing against himself. It's like he
Yeah.
keeps being the same guy and he's getting better and he's got to be better and better each year to win an award that he's still
Hmm.
dominant over everybody else. But I think voters probably want to see somebody else win, which it stinks. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because if you're the best, you're the best.
Yeah.
It's what it is. And I think that's kind of like where Lamar is right now. And that's another thing James Brown brought up. When he met Josh Allen in the season, they dominated them. The best player walked up the field with the winning team, and that was Lamar
Hmm.
Jackson. And it's just hard to see this. But again, as we
Hmm.
said before, I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not, and just like everybody is fatigued about Kansas City, it's the refs, it's the refs. Listen, they're the best. When you're the best at what you do, you're gonna get fatigued. You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to those guys, man. I mean, either way, it could have went either way, and I'm happy that it went to
Host
Josh Allen.
Sonja is not just fatigued from the jet lag. She's definitely fatigued
Absolutely,
from Kansas City.
Kansas City. I said the key word for I get. I said the triggering word,
Keyword. That
the
works better than
triggerer.
coffee. Thanks, Fern. And Fern, you guys, has a birthday as well. We're birthday twins for this month. He's
Yep.
towards the end of the month, so we'll be definitely shouting him out. So I'm kicking off the beginning, and Fern will be wrapping up the end. So,
Oh yeah.
Fern, is that a purple shirt you got on?
No, it's a gray shirt. Listen, I didn't come with my Ohio State or
Well,
Giants shirt. I said
it looked
I'm gonna keep
purple.
it dull.
I thought you were wearing our birthstone. So
I went down. Well, you know what? If it's the birthstone, we'll go with the purple, but
At
definitely
least it
gray.
looks, yeah, on air, it looks like a light purple, a
Yeah.
masculine purple. I do want to
Yeah.
chime in on, guys, before we move on. I just want to say I was shocked about the awards. I'm gonna be honest. I was shocked. I am happy for Josh Allen, very well deserved, but I just don't understand the voting process. And Saquon Barkley, like, I know that they tend to give the MVP to quarterbacks, but at the end of the day, I was like, this dude broke Eric Dickerson's record. He broke franchise records. He was a first year starter for that organization from a different organization and a rival nonetheless to come in and to learn the plays of a different team off the rip and to hit the ground running, to know how to reserve yourself to reach the playoffs, in my opinion, was something that was overlooked. I think that awards and MVPs and whatnot should not be just granted based off of statistical measures. I think it's an overall picture. And in my opinion, Saquon could have been run those yards up, but he had a reserve. He knew there was a bigger picture. I remember speaking with Pags, the Philly sports guy, about that, and we talked about that. Like, hey, he could have been hit those last 200 yards. What's the holdup? And the holdup was, he's trying to make sure that the bigger picture is getting to the Super Bowl and winning. And when that happens, all this could, come in the backside of it. But of course, he's already broke those records. Eric Dickerson didn't want his record broke. Dude, you've had that record 40 years. Sit down somewhere. Pass it on. Like who does that? Who wants to hold a record so high that you wouldn't want to pass it on to your little brother or your little sister? Like that's what it's all about. It's not about just saying I'm the greatest forever. It's about, hey, I'm the greatest. Reach me, join me, and let's show the world together that other people can succeed just besides me. Like nobody's a god up in here. But I heard you guys talking about that. I think I was shocked that Lamar Jackson didn't get it, especially with him being accentuated with King Henry this year. That really helped him. But at the same time, I think that it actually hurt Lamar's chances of getting the award. And I say that because he ended up, like I think Fern was speaking about Zay Flowers, the fact of him being missing from that offense and him having to rely more on Likely and, of course, Derrick Henry removed the propensity of him getting that sole award. And basically, if anything, they looked at the other offensive players besides Lamar for getting the job done in Baltimore. Thank you, Tamikia. Thank you, Sora. Thank you, Tasha Mikia. Thank you, Sora. And thank you, Pink Fanfare. I did have a great trip. Thank you both so very much. I mean, but the voting process is what it is. And there's that. And yeah.
Yeah. I guess the conversation, I know that's an individual award, but the conversation to me personally is them getting over that hump. I mean, Baltimore and Buffalo, mainly Buffalo, they just can't get over the hump, and they have to. I think those guys would have negated the MVP even nomination to get over the hump and get to the Super Bowl. At least get to the Super Bowl. That the AFC is tough, and it runs through Kansas City. I mean, you get to the final level. What you say, J. Trey?
I was going to say, what did Michael Jordan say? They still got to come through Chicago.
Still got to come through Chicago. When you come through Kansas City,
on his watch.
But like guys, in my opinion, that, and I don't want to go off subject, but that's when you got to do all the little things right throughout the season to make sure that you secure home field advantage, to make sure that you're healthy going down, getting down to the nitty gritty. You blast out of the gates, you're Minnesota, you're Detroit, and you're this great team, for 13, 14 games, and those last couple of games, injury bug. You're playing players that should not be on the field. You're not. I think Kansas City beats you up psychologically mainly because they know how to win. They know what to do, how to do it. They have the game plan. They know where to exert as much force as they need to right there in the mid-season. They make sure they go on a run. They secure home field advantage, and then they take off. You know what I'm saying? They take off.
I would like to say I actually agree with that, like 1,000%, because every year we don't even think about Kansas City. They're kind of like that sleeping giant that you're like, okay, yeah, they're probably going to get there because that's what they're saying they're going to do. But they don't win every single game, and they don't play well every single game. Like we saw the Panthers almost beat them when the Panthers were not playing good. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, like I just remember us talking about it like, oh, no, they could be beat. Like they're not going to the Super Bowl because look how they almost lost. But like you said, they beat you psychologically. They'll take those L's and go home. They'll take those close calls and go home. Yep. But they're preserving the health of their offense. You don't hear about a bunch of people being laid out hurt. I think Pacheco was hurt for a little bit. You don't hear about Patrick, except he rolled his ankle, but he went over there, took his steroid shot, took his line of cocaine and came on back out playing. I'm sorry, guys. I just feel like, what are y'all giving him that he's back out here? I mean, he's limping 5 minutes earlier, and now he's back out running like nothing happened. Like, what are those shots? I need them.
A lot of people don't realize it takes a lot to not only win to get to one championship, but to go back to back and try to get 3 in a row. Only one team has done that in NFL history, and they did it twice. That's the Green Bay Packers. They did it from 29 to 31, and from 65 to 67. So, right, and they won all 3 games. I'm just saying. So it's just like it's a hard feat. And then not only that, you're playing more games than most teams. Most teams don't make the playoffs, and so you're playing more games, and you're winning those games. So everybody's bringing their best to you when they're trying to beat you. They know you're the big giant. I want to chop the tree down, the beanstalk. I want you to fall, and they're gonna give you their best. They might not give everybody else their best. They might be 1 in 15, but they're gonna give you their best, and they're gonna play you close. So
I agree with that. And okay.
Yeah, no, that's true, because we were just like, hey, if we beat the Chiefs, nothing matters. Like, to say that we beat them, the reigning Super Bowl champs, but I get
they go
it.
back. Yeah, the Chiefs, they win wars, not battles. When you win battles, you have a merit on your chest. The Chiefs, they win wars because they know they're the best at clock management. They pick the right guys. When you have a solid quarterback, when you have a generational quarterback, you can do pretty much whatever you want. When it comes to draft picks, when it comes to just getting players out in the offseason, free agency. They just do all the right things. And it makes everybody mad. But I'll leave the merits. I'll take the wars. You know what I'm saying? Because they know exactly when to win, how to win, and they do all the little things right. And that's what makes champions. Just like the New England did, the same blueprint. They don't have to have, 2 to 3 stars. They don't have to go out of Philly and get a Saquon, try to get Miles Garrett, They don't have to do that because they do all the little things right. And that's what makes a champion over and over and over again.
They do invest
yes, sir.
in getting good people, Noah Gray, Rashee Rice, Kareem Hunt. I mean, as if they needed anybody else. The Chiefs just seem to be the standard. I mean, they are America's team. Let's be clear. If you're talking about standards and plays, which is what America's team should consist of, not just a logo or a fan base. I mean, these guys have set the standard of what it takes in the NFL. And even if they lose on Sunday, they got there. Like, they're number 2. Like, I know they say no one cares about number 2, but yeah, you do. If you're the runner-up for the Super Bowl, that means you're better than at least 30 other teams that are in the division, in the league. And so, Patrick Mahomes is just the icing on the cake out there. They every year, they are just stacked. And I mean, the Hollywood Brown, somebody that hadn't been talked about a whole lot. I mean, dude is just a beast. And even though, people are sick of Kansas, I'm one of them. Kansas City, I'm absolutely just sick of them. I don't even know the word to describe. I just, no one likes a winner. But then you have to think about it. If it was your team and winning, wouldn't you be kind of cocky? Wouldn't you be excited, that they're there? And the answer is absolutely.
They earned that right. Yeah.
Somebody brought up, it's when somebody brings up your team and how you behave when your team was at the top, and all of y'all on here have rings but me. So you know how it was to be a fan of your organization when you got a ring. I was close, okay? So let's be clear. When Cam was going around dabbing and people were complaining, I was like, nah, let him dab. I'm dabbing with him. Well, that same behavior now, I consider it off-putting by the Chiefs, who are not even doing that much celebratory stuff. The only thing they're doing is showing flags for Taylor Swift. They're not doing, no hand gestures and grittying like Justin Jefferson. They don't have all that going on. But they do have a way of playing, not only that is getting the wins, but it's protecting them from injuries. So they're getting safe wins so that they can protect their investment for the long haul. I do want to ask you, J Train, I kind of already know your thoughts, but Fern, because I could just read your face. I can read your facial expression about what I'm about to ask next. It's like you already have your game face on for the Chiefs.
Oh,
like,
no, I'm trying to hear because my earbuds is like I'm like concentrating, but you good.
Okay,
good.
yeah, no, your face though already, like, even though you may not say what I think you're gonna say, your face already says it, because I mean, in my opinion, I think you're just going against the Eagles because they're your rival and they got Saquon. And so I feel like that's why you're probably going to go. I would too. I would too. I would be like, if it was the Falcons, I'd be like, yeah, if they win, good luck to them. But they probably ain't going to win because the other team got this, that, and the third. So I just want to ask you, as a non-NFC East fan, do the Eagles have a chance? And before you get to that question, is there any truth or validity to this Chiefs and Revs situation?
Yeah. Hold on let me get my earbuds. I've been trying to concentrate to listen. I need to get some new earbuds. But anyway, I'll start off with any truth. You said any truth or validity to the Chiefs and the Revs, correct?
Yes, Chiefs and
No,
Revs.
there's not. Listen, every team that is known to, I know Jay Trey, I see that smile. I said every team that are pretty much every team that is considered winners, they've been there multiple times. That people are tired of them. They do all the little things right. They're gonna get the calls, and maybe those calls are not recognized, right? If it was their first time, maybe we don't give those calls, the recognition that, or we don't shine the light on them like we normally do if it was their first time getting there, right? I think psychologically, our mind we focus on those things because like they're always there. They always get the breaks. They always get the good calls. We miss out on the facts of all the mistakes that the other team made, down the line, which, that cost them the game, and clock management, missed field goals. We miss out on those things. And we focus on that one bad call, right? The Chiefs got this. No, it's the little things that make a difference. So, no, I don't believe in that. And to Philly, the Eagles, again, they're my biggest rival. I don't like Philly. They know that. I know that. But do they have a chance? Absolutely, they have a chance. I just don't think they're going to be able to play 4 quarters against Kansas City and come out victors. They are, again, Kansas City will wear you down. They will give you a facade of making you feel comfortable while you're up, and then they'll just start chopping wood fourth quarter, midway in the fourth quarter, 2 minutes left, they start chopping wood. So Philly's going to have to, again, like every other team, they're going to have to play all 4 quarters. And if they mess up and they make those, they make those little mistakes down the line that's going to cost them, then they're going to be in trouble.
J Train.
Regarding the Chiefs and the refs, look, the element of human nature is always a possibility. I'm not saying that it's happening. I'm not saying that it's the case, but it's always a possibility. The optics don't lie. When you see the eyes, the eye test, when you're watching and seeing what happened, when you see Patrick Mahomes go down and the guy clearly don't really even touch him, and they throw the flag, and they're down a 12-13. We're talking about Houston against the Kansas City Chiefs. And they go down and score. That continued to play on a third down play. That continued a drive, and they scored the 2 times that happened, and they got 10 points out of it. They got 10 points out of it. I'm not saying that Houston not supposed to continue to play, but that could be deflating. That could be totally deflating when you like, how do we win? I'm like, we're playing the best. I mean, we're giving our best against a team that's supposedly the Super Bowl champions, and they're trying to get to the Super Bowl, but we're trying to get there too. But they seem to have a little bit of an advantage with some help. I'm supposed to be playing football against you, not you and a yellow flag that just mysteriously pops up out of nowhere. Now, in regards to the Eagles, I think the Eagles have a great chance to win. As a matter of fact, I picked them to win at the beginning of the season. I'm just going to go ahead and put that out there. I picked them to win. I picked both Kansas City and the Eagles to make the Super Bowl, but I also picked the Eagles to win when I heard that Saquon got picked up by the Eagles. I was like, okay, that's going to make the difference. And so far, he's panned out. When I say panned out, he got 2,000 yards in the regular season, but my man had 200 yards in one of the games he had, and 150 in another game. And Kansas City's giving up 100 yards a game. Why can't they give him 100 yards or 150 or 200? He's gonna break one, A-Train. I'm calling it right here. He's gonna break a 60 or 70-yard touchdown.
I can see that. They're gonna let Saquon eat, and Saquon is gonna eat. But what else are they gonna take
But they
away?
gotta stop the guys on the end too.
They do. And I'll be honest with you. What is Spags gonna what is he gonna dial up to make the difference in that game? Could he afford to let Saquon get his? Can he? And say, okay, I'm gonna take this element away. I may take this element away. He can pick and choose how he wanna structure that defense and what he's gonna tolerate versus what he's not gonna tolerate. That's gonna be the interesting part. I'm not saying that Philly is not gonna run away with it, they're not gonna win the game, but I'm interested to see how the changes and the different. I want to see the different schematics that Spagnuolo is going to come up with. That's going to make a true difference.
Spags is a great coach, great defensive coordinator.
Awesome. One of the
but
best.
You got to also think he's going up against a great offensive line, probably the best offensive line that he's probably going to face all year. And he's also going up against a guy that he's seen before, Saquon Barkley. He's also going up against two wide receivers and a quarterback that can run himself, RPO. And let's flip it over. What about Philadelphia's defense? What about Jalen Carter? What about Jordan Davis? What about those guys, all those Georgia players that are there? And what about the two rookie cornerbacks that were up for Rookie of the Year that gonna go up against these wide receivers that we're talking about?
That ball gonna be out of his hands.
And guys, before we go, I hate you guys. We got a little bit past the halfway point here. We gotta let the Huddle Sports Network give their shout out. Please make sure you put a pin where we were stopping here. Guys, grab your favorite drink and snacks. Myself and the fellas will be right back.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
I can't believe J Train got back before the song.
I know the timing of it now. I know the timing of it.
I literally removed you because I didn't want you to be seen out.
That's funny.
All right. So hey everybody, it's the second half of our show. I usually put it out there. We go to 10 o'clock on Roku on the Huddle Sports Network and Northeast Professional Sports, of course. But sometimes we might go a little bit longer. So guys, I mean, I've missed you guys. If we go a couple of minutes over, it's perfectly fine as long as y'all don't got nothing to do. Now we ain't gonna be up here like we would a couple of weeks ago. We was on like 45, 50 minutes because we had other people on here that was like, oh my God. I'm like, listen, this is not your show. This is our show. How y'all on here taking over our show? But anyway, this is Friday with the fellas, y'all, and this is just what we do. Fun sports, fun football, faith, all that good stuff. All right, guys, resume. And round two. Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, I don't see J Train. You there, J Train? There he is. Yeah,
I'm here.
back to that. That ball is gonna be that. I'm gonna let you continue. But Patrick Mahomes is gonna have that ball out of his hand much faster. It's gonna be a much quicker release. To be honest with you, that front four is. I think Philly is dominant on both sides of the ball, right? It just all depends on how. I just think how is Kansas City gonna overcome the talent differential, right? How are they going to draw up the plays? How is everything going to work out schematically to where they can say, you know what, we can get the edge if we keep doing this? They got to find their niche at the beginning of the game, and they got to run with it. Whether it's running the ball, whether it's passing, whether it's taking advantage, letting Saquon run and taking away the pass, it just all depends. But I agree with you, J Trey. It's going to be a game.
I mean, as
The
much as
matchup. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Chris. So, go ahead.
no, I just want to tell y'all real quick. As much as I want to be like they cheat, just like J Train says, and those calls can be devastating. There are horrible calls. Y'all know that we are facts and stats over here first. I mean, we do express our opinions, and so with that being said, I was wrong. Apparently, over the last 2 seasons, at least. There is no evidence of the Chiefs getting any benefit from the referees in the 2023 season. The difference between the Chiefs and their opponents' penalties was negative 241, the second lowest in the league. Number 2, this current season, the 2024-25 season, the Chiefs were flagged only 20 more yards than their opponents. So, with that being said, I digress.
I want to hear it, J Trey.
I hate it, guys. I freaking hate it. And so does America. So does America.
It's always the possibility. That's all I said. I'm not saying that they cheated, but it's a possibility.
They were very, in the words of 47, they were a very naughty team. They were nasty. And they're very nasty and very naughty team.
Yeah. But look, they gotta. I mean, this is a game. I think it's gonna come down to the matchups, which I think both teams match up very well in all the position groups. It's just a matter of who turns the ball over or who has the ball last. And I just think that Philly will have enough this time. I mean, you got to think back, even without Saquon Barkley in 2022, if it wasn't for that fumble, I mean, the score was 38-33. I mean, 35 or something like that. Yeah, 35. It was a 3-point game. So, and Jalen Hurts had a phenomenal game outside of that fumble. He had a phenomenal game. So, I mean, I'm looking for them to bring everybody on the Philly and Kansas City to bring their A game because this is the Super Bowl, and who knows? Maybe a little voodoo might help Philadelphia down in New Orleans.
It's very close. It's like 48-52%. Nobody can really call who's going to win this game. And let me be clear, you guys. I saw that Jalen Carter has been limited in practice because he's ill, and y'all know he is the defense of that Eagles defense. People thought Fletcher Cox leaving was going to be, a huge gap, but Jalen Carter has come in and just hit the ground running. And 48% say the Eagles are going to win as of today, the win probability, and 52% say the Chiefs. Now, y'all know leading up, we got 48 more hours, like literally like 47 hours from now, we will be in the Super Bowl, y'all. And like 46 and a half, actually. 46 and 40 minutes.
I'm driving down there in the morning. So.
Oh my God! Listen,
wow! Good luck.
I know you. Listen, you need to come on. We need to pre-record some segments of just the area. Just that energy, just what it's like. To be a part of that. Like this is history. Super Bowl 59, I believe it is.
Yeah.
It's something. I'm not sure.
Something like that.
Yeah, because the Panthers are going back in 60, 10 years. So
that's a good one, sis. I like that.
Yeah, so 59. I mean, I'm when you drive across the Pontchartrain?
The Pontchartrain Lake. Yeah.
I was close. When you drive across that, you need to just go ahead and go live and just hey sis, I am here and I need you to go ahead and link me in. I noticed something here. I'm a little confused. Fern, under your name, there seems to be like a cutoff. It just says D. Is that deliberate?
Yes, that's deliberate.
Oh my God. D.
Every want you to finish it, right.
I wanted you guys to say it, especially J Train. I wanted it to roll off his tongue. I wanted him to say, "What is that?"
Oh, I
And
already know.
for our new viewers coming on, y'all welcome to the show. This is like our show is like a combination of what we talk about all week in our group chat.
Yep.
We almost need to do like we need to do like a Friday with the fellas A and a Friday with the fellas B, because an hour is never enough time. And I was traveling and I just saw all the screenshots and stuff. We want to pivot away from the chefs. Okay. Good luck to whichever team wins.
Mhm.
This looks like my screenshot here with this LSU WRU. Is that your handwriting, Fern?
Oh no, I think that's if it says LSU WRU, then that's
That's
our
me.
guy J
That's
Train.
me.
Yep.
That
That's
literally
him.
looks like how I did a screenshot with the same type script and font. All right, we'll have to talk about that in a minute. Let's pivot to the NBA. Lots of big freaking news.
Yeah.
NBA trade deadline, guys. Jimmy Bad News Bears Butler is now going over to be with Steph Curry. And I think Draymond and him are going to clash, you guys. I just feel it. I just feel it. What were your thoughts? I mean, Jimmy Butler has wanted to get out of Miami for a while. He refused to go back to a couple other organizations. He refused to sign an extension with two other teams. He said he was not going to go to. So the Warriors finally got him, and he's up out of there. Were y'all shocked that the Warriors were the team that he ends up going to?
J Train.
Look, I was shocked that he got a team. Period. This is not new behavior. This is not new antics. This is something that he's done almost every location that he's been with. Whether it be Minnesota, Chicago, and then Miami. I don't think he really did nothing bad in Philadelphia, but I'm not sure. But look. Going to the Warriors, I think they already have something in a bit of a troublemaker in Draymond Green, and they know how to handle that. But now they bring in a guy that's 35 years old. He's had some injury history the latter couple of years of his career, and you're paying him guaranteed money in $112 million, a 2-year contract. Whew. They must really be trying to make a last-ditch effort to try to get a playoff push, because the guys aren't getting any younger. I mean, Steph is up there. And Draymond's up there, and they don't have Clay anymore. And then you get rid of Wiggins. Wiggins, last couple of, when he's on, but there's a lot of games that he's off too, so I can see why they let him go and he went down to Miami. But I think it's not going to really change much, sis. I don't think it's going to change much for them. I just think they're just too old. Even LeBron James and the Lakers last night without Luka. And without the kid, Mark, I'm sorry, the new center they took out of, Williams. They demolished him. And so
42 points LeBron had. LeBron had what, 42, 40?
42, yeah.
And he says, I'm tired. He said, I'm tired.
But I just don't see it. I mean, they may have an opportunity. What are they, 10th right now, 10th, 11th seed?
Yeah, I think 11th, if I'm not mistaken.
It's going to be hard for them. But I'll be interested to see what Jimmy does and how he meshes with that team. I think Steve Kerr can get them in line, to work together. And he's not no pushover. He's not going to be KD. He's not going to let Draymond handle him like Draymond handled KD. Let's put it that way. So I think they may work well together. But whether or not they do something with it, remains to be seen.
Fern, were you surprised about that? And J Train kind of led into, I was kind of saving the best for last, but he's already kind of put it out there. So we'll get to the Luka Doncic trade in a moment. Fern, were you surprised about Jimmy Butler? Like the fact that we kind of saw the writing on the wall, but the Warriors?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I heard rumblings about it maybe a couple of weeks ago, and I think Jimmy turned it down, or it wasn't enough money, or he was just being Jimmy Butler, being a fool, but
being a queen. Let me give him my crown. Here you go, Jimmy.
Here you go, Jimmy. I was like, oh man, and I think I forgot what player gave him a warning. I want to say it was not Stephon Marbury, Carmelo Anthony. He reached out to Jimmy Butler and said they're gonna treat you like Stephon if you don't if you don't get it together. And and I'm not sure if he took those words to heart, or you're going to be a Stephon Marbury, you're going to be a Latrell Sprewell if you don't get it together. So I think he took those words from Carmelo to heart, and he went ahead and signed with Golden State, because I think they were working on that for a couple of weeks. Because I heard rumblings, Sonja and J Train, I heard rumblings about him going to Golden State. So it's going to be interesting with, you got a lot of personalities on that team. You got Draymond, you got Steph, you got a lot of the young guys. Wiggins is gone. I'm interested to see at their age now how Steve Kerr is going to be able to manage that team. I mean, you're talking to 35, 36-year-olds who, they won what, three championships? Was it 3 or 4? 4. They got 4. So, it's not much that Steve can say to them. I just want to see how Jimmy mixes in with that. I say it like this. I think Stephen A. said it best. Stephen A. Smith said it's a ploy to sell more tickets. They need viewership. So
it's definitely that.
Yeah. And also, you mentioned, A-Train, that Carmelo mentioned something too, but KG had a passionate speech about that, and how his antics are going to what takes away guaranteed money from all the players in the future. Yep. Man, that's stupid.
That's tough, J-Train. That's right.
I want to pivot back one quick second, guys. Speaking about endorsements and stuff, we failed to also recognize that Josh Allen, in getting the MVP, gets a $1.5 million bonus for him being the MVP. So he, coins all around for him. He'll probably donate some of that money to his grandmother's franchise. She has an organization that Bill's Mafia got behind years ago, and that just really I don't think I was on when you guys first started talking about that. So I want to make sure, just for a quick second, for our audience, not just the title. Josh gets a lot. I do want to talk about this NBA, but I also want to talk about these pro hall football nods that were given and who were not given. If we got a little bit of time to do that. Because that's interesting. I'm sorry to make y'all pivot back, but it just dawned on me, like, hold on, we ain't talking about the Manning. Wait a minute. So real quick, you guys led up to it, J Train. The biggest news, of course, was Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis, Mr. Eyebrows himself, Mr. Burt, from Sesame Street. The Mavs, they shipped out Luka. I was floored. LeBron and a whole bunch of other people said they thought it was a hoax. Like, they literally thought, AI be doing a lot these days. And AD even seemed like he was shocked, Now they're going to mess up his, bromanship with LeBron. That's his bro. He couldn't do a press conference with, they're Barney and Betty Rubble. They're Batman and Robin.
The overall goal was they won a championship together, and Anthony Davis stated that in his goodbye letter to LA. So they accomplished what they wanted to accomplish when they first got together, and LeBron pulled them away from the Lakers, pulled them away from the Pelicans. Right. I did that for J Train. No, the Lakers pulled them away from that. They did. And I think his time was up in LA. I mean, I don't think those guys, you can look in their eyes, they probably didn't have as close of a relationship as they normally had. You can look in their eyes and say, pause. But you could tell that, I don't know. I don't think they were still on the same, I don't think they were still on the same time. It was time to move on. LeBron is at the end of his tenure. AD has maybe a few more years to go. So their objectives now are a little bit different. AD's probably wanting to get one more. The Lakers saw an opportunity and they grabbed it, and it was a great opportunity. Lakers are trying to build for the future as well, too.
Yeah, they are. And speaking of the future, Linda, Mac, thank you all so much for this platform. I know we told everybody to download the Roku app, showed Mac at the beginning, but definitely want to give acknowledgments out to Linda and Mac over there, the great producers who make this very platform available for us. So thank you both very much. I mean, J Train, what were your thoughts on that whole thing? Were you shocked? I mean, I did think it was a hoax when I first saw it. I was like, okay, there's a bad connection over here where I'm at. I'll just follow up with that later.
I didn't think it was a hoax, but I was definitely shocked. I mean, it like everyone said, it's in shockwaves throughout the whole sports world. And when I read it and I saw all the different clips and the different videos on it, look, it comes down to somebody who doesn't stay conditioned, and you're going to give him 5 years, 350 million guaranteed. And you're going to give him that much money. If you're not conditioned and having the will to put the drive in before you have that money, can you only imagine what it's going to be like once he has that signed, sealed, delivered contract? Man, I'm coming out to sit on the bench with a beer in my hand. I'm about to go play.
White on.
I'm about to go play.
You can't fire me.
I don't have to do anything. I mean, it's guaranteed. The money, I'm going out there. Look, I get hurt. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna go sit down and look at my bank account. It's like, and I'll let you know when I'm back. I mean, I'm not saying you should do that. I'm just saying if he don't have the motivation before it, what's going to motivate him to change and do? I like at work, I try to tell young people. I said, look, they come here, while I work at an eye place, and a lot of people come in. They're young people straight out of college, science degrees, and they want to go on to bigger and better things once they leave there after about 1 to 2 years. But I have to tell them, I said, before you get to that position, this is your job here. And you need to bring excellence. You need to bring hard work here first, because you're not going to just bring it when you get there. I mean, if you want to get to that spot, take what you have with you from this position and bring it there. So I don't understand specifically, unless he gets with LeBron, and LeBron, he puts $1.5 billion, $2 million on his conditioning, and he's 40 years old. Maybe, and if that's the guy he looks up to, maybe in this position, he's going to look at him and say, you know what? I do need help. This is humbling because I lost money. I can't get that 100 million, and I need help. So LeBron, I'm pretty sure he likes him. That's his favorite player. So I think the marriage should work there. Pause. I think the relationship should work there. It should be a good relationship for them for 1 or 2 years, and I think that's the future. He's the future if he can take what LeBron, just a small inkling from LeBron, what LeBron has had his whole career. Forget just the championships, but the dedication to hard work ethic. If he takes that and puts it into his body, I think he has a bright future without injury. Because I think a lot of those injuries came from the poor condition.
And the flip side.
Hey, sis, I wanted to. Oh, sorry. Mm-hmm.
No,
I just wanted to interject real quick, sis, and I wanted to say this to J-Train, not to cut anybody off. What was the overall goal of bringing Luka to the Lakers? I think it's what we've been talking about, and what the NBA has been talking about over the last year or so. Viewership is down.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, they give Luka a ton of money. They could say, here, you can have that. You go eat your pizza pies and your wings and sit down and have a good time. Let's go ahead and get some butts in seats, and let's get our viewership up, because it was down, and it was down tremendously. So they're trying to regain that. And then at that point, once they regain that viewership, then they can start working the kinks out of the sense. Sorry to cut you off, sis.
You're fine. I mean, no, and let's be clear, Fern and J Train, we talk. It's no cut off at all. You don't even have to say excuse me unless unless it's like I just feel like I was gonna lean towards that. Like, what is the purpose of bringing him there? And more importantly, Anthony Davis now is a Mav for what? Like, what is that about? What, seriously, like, was he underperforming as a Laker?
No, they just had to make a swap. One thing, look, they tried. They didn't just try with the Lakers. They tried with a couple of other teams. But I think the best fit for them was to take a player. I think they want to trade for a superstar in a situation where they don't have to put somebody under that apron. So they would have to be under the second apron. And this collective bargaining agreement is just really like crappy right now, because I think Boston maybe has one more year with where they are right now, what they're paying their few players, before they have to break that up. Because they both were making 300, I think, and one guy's making like 100. Oh man, they're in the second apron for sure. They got one good year this year here. They got to make it count, because they got to start breaking that up. because you can't pay nobody
certain
else.
teams,
Can't pay anybody else.
certain teams are just superstar status. Like the Lakers, they're just a lifetime superstar status. You know, you just the Lakers are like a standalone team in so many rights. I mean, from our parents' time, you know, maybe even our grandparents' time, and they tend to continue. You know, the Heat is another one, but the Lakers just have that kind of old school and new school feel that they just, you know, they're constantly rejuvenating their franchise so that it's, you know, fitting for modern times and that, you know, they can recruit fresh new interest in what they have going on. Just like Fern was saying, it's about getting the interest up. You know, Bert, we were sick of seeing you. You know, you sitting up there with sunglasses on beside of LeBron at every press conference, stroking him down for whatever he got to say, amen him and everything, like you choir. We need you to do better on the boards. So we're gonna go ahead and get rid of you and your Hollywood sunglasses, and you can take that on over to Dallas and be over there with the 1-star rating Cowboys.
Well, look, if he stays healthy, I'm not going to be surprised if Dallas don't make sense. They have a really good team, and I think he's going to bring more defense than what they had there. Yep. And so that's what you need. You got three big men there, 3 to 4 big men there defensively in the playoffs. They have an opportunity, sis. I think they really have an opportunity. He's got to stay healthy, though. That's a big if.
Gotta stay healthy.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. They got to the playoffs before everybody thought, you know, they had it going. What was it, last season before last? This may be their missing piece for that. Additionally, De'Aaron Fox dealt to San Antonio. This was a shock for me. Zach LaVine going to Sacramento to the Kings. I didn't see that one coming. I'm gonna be honest. Between that one and the Luka Doncic change for Lakers and the Mavs, I was actually floored, y'all.
Oh yeah, it was some big news. You know, like I said, if Dallas, you know, in a sense, we may want to even say Dallas won that trade. You know, and I think they did. You know, they got a team that can actually go out there and win. You know, I'm not saying they just. I mean, last year they were in the conference championship, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just last year. And now you you take away Luka. You know, you keep Kyrie, even though I heard Kyrie is requesting a trade. You know, you keep Kyrie. If they can keep that team together, I think Anthony Davis can take them over the top. I really do. I really do.
Yeah, we got some more last minute receptions of teams. Of course, the deadline was February 6th, and that has now come and gone. Marcus Smart is going to the Wizards. That was a shock to me because I was like, hold on. You mean Marcus Smart from the Boston? Like, I didn't even know. Like, wow, okay, way to move that. Kobe Jones via the Kings. And let me back up. I didn't know Marcus Smart had gone to the Grizzlies first. So I missed that. So they actually got, in case people are like, wait a minute, no, he's with the Grizzlies. I know that. I was just saying I remember him from playing in Boston. Marcus Smart, Mr. Green hair tips. Is gone to the Wizards from the Grizzlies. Of course, Kobe Jones and Alex Lynn as well. And the 2025 first round pick is also going to the Wizards from the Grizzlies. And the Grizzlies are going to receive Marvin Bagley III. They're going to also receive Johnny Davis and 2 second-round picks. And then the Kings are receiving Jake LaRavia via the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies, they just got rid of everybody. And the official release went to the Wizards. Then the Raptors got a 3-player deal. They got Brandon Ingram. Okay, guys. And then the Pelicans, that's J-Train's folks down in New Orleans, who at first they stole our name, the Hornets. Now they're back to the Pelicans, which is what they should.
It's not J-Train's team, sis. Sorry.
I know it's not, but geographically it should be.
I said that on purpose for J-Train because he said he's not a Pelican fan.
I know. We're truth finders over here. And speaking of truth finders, we may have to say goodbye to some of our audience. We thank you so much to the Roku family for watching us because it's the top of the hour. And we want to let you know this will be re-aired at 2 a.m. in its entirety. So if you have to drop off, you can show the re-air. And it also shows tomorrow on the Holder Sports Network at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Pelicans are getting Bruce Brown for J-Train's team. for J Train's team, a first round pick and a second round pick. And the official release came between the Raptors and the Pelicans. The Warriors are acquiring. Oh, y'all! I told y'all I was tired. Butler, Jimmy Butler, that is, Mr. Mop Buckets, which there not been that many buckets, more like just a broom these days. Warriors are receiving him via the Heat. They're also getting 2 second-round picks and cash considerations. I mean, I thought Jimmy was enough, but clearly he's not. They're begging people to take him. And the Heat are going to receive Andrew Wiggins. They're also getting Kyle Anderson and Davion Mitchell, which is really good. Mitchell is. And a 2025 protected first-round pick via the Warriors. And you guys can check out all these other teams. There's a bunch of the teams. We just want to tell y'all about the top ones as we're at the top of the hour. So that was the NBA, y'all. Let's pivot back to the NFL. We had some pro football honors that went through this year. And a shocking one, these people didn't get their way, Super Bowl 50, they got their way. Okay, that's what they do, the Manning way. They were given that. They were gifted that Super Bowl, but not this time. Pro Football Hall of Fame says, you are worthy, but not on the first nomination. What were you guys' thoughts as was it Eli or Peyton? I don't even remember no more.
Peyton's already in there. It was Eli.
Eli, Booker Eli. They said no, sir.
I'm with your guy, sis. Cam said if Eli deserved to get in, I need 2 jackets.
Yes, sir.
That first. So I mean, with Eli, I've always had a vendetta against Eli. I always, he has 2 rings. He has 2 chips. Whether we want to say we had 2 of the best defenses, one of the best offensive lines, we had Spags as our defensive coordinator, Coughlin was our head coach. We had a really solid team on both, really the defensive side of the ball a little bit more than the offensive side. But I'm looking at the gaps, right? With the 2 Super Bowls and 2 playoff runs that we really shouldn't have been in the playoffs at the time. And minus that, Eli was not a very good quarterback. I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm sorry. I'm going to say that. I know Kev is going to disagree. Shout out to my boy Kev. J-Train may agree with me, with this. I think Eli was in a right place at the right time. And I argue with a lot of Giant fans, just my buddies just around. I said, well, what if we would have got Phillip Rivers? All I want to have if we got Phillip Rivers. In my opinion, I think we would have won more with Phillip Rivers because he was more talented than Eli. Eli wasn't. He was in a right place at the right time. And us as Giant fans, we thank him. He'll never have to buy a slice of pizza ever again. But first ballot, was it first ballot, J-Train or Sonja? Was it first ballot or was this
would have been first ballot this time?
This would have been first ballot.
Hall of Fame, honey.
Yeah, no. He deserves to get in, but not right now. That's just my opinion, and that's coming from a Giants fan.
And hello, Kata. I'm so sorry. We missed your comment earlier. He talked about the Eagles having to use flawless clock management and long drives, and he says hello to us all. Thank you, Pink Fanfur, behind the scenes for addressing that comment because she went ahead and greeted him. I mean, he ain't the only one got snubbed. Y'all know, J-Train, I really don't give a flip-flop about him not being in no Hall of Fame. What were your thoughts?
Look, Eli beat Tom Brady twice. And it wasn't just him. It was his defense. They were very low-scoring games, both those games. But Eli had great moments in his career. Mm-hmm. He's had great moments. He's been a very streaky quarterback. I heard Stephen A. Smith mention some of his stats, and they weren't great to hear about. He's a 500 player. As far as record, 118 and 118. He's led the league in interceptions 3 times. And again, he's had hot moments when he was hot, but when he was cold, he's had some severe frostbitten cold moments. And I'm just like, wow. And A-Train can attest. I watched him when he played at Ole Miss, and I watched him when he played in the NFL. But he got, I wouldn't say lucky, but kind of lucky to have the kind of defense that he had and coaches that he had to be in the right place at the right time. And don't get me wrong, he had some great clutch moments. I mean, that one in Mario Manningham in 2011,
Down the
that was
sideline,
top notch.
Yep.
But those were moments. If you have to, like I heard the question, if you have to ask when you look at somebody and just if you can't just say, "Oh yeah, he's first ballot," then he's not first ballot. He's not deserving to be. You got to question him. And I had to do a lot of questioning regarding this guy. I don't think he should be a first ballot Hall of Fame. Not do he should he get in? Yes, at some point.
Yes.
But not first ballot.
Not first ballot. I agree.
Speaking of not first ballot, Darren Woodson, again, this is his second or third time trying to go up there, snubbed again. Adam Vinatieri, that was a shocker.
He should have been in.
Really, yeah,
I heard Jack on Mac
for sure.
I heard Jack on Mac and Jack show this morning say that if you had to compare those two, Eli Manning and Adam Vinatieri, like say if Adam Vinatieri is a better at his position than Eli Manning is at his position, and Adam should definitely be in.
Should have been in. Yeah, for sure. Should have definitely been in. I agree with Adam Vinatieri. I'm not going to take you. Listen, Eli's my guy.
The 4
I appreciate
players
it.
named to the 2025 Hall of Fame class.
I think you just you there, J Train? Yeah, I think she just got disconnected. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Vinatieri should have been in, J Train. Vinatieri should have definitely been in. I'm with you on Eli. You know, I'm probably the biggest Giant fan, but like you said, he had moments, and he also had really bad moments. He had bad streaks, and we could blame a lot of things for that. But you know, should Eli be in at some point? Absolutely. First ballot, not so much.
Now, one could argue that the element of human nature could be a play and role in why guys don't get in on first ballot. Like for instance, T.O. If you look at T.O. and his resume, he should have been first ballot Hall of Fame.
All hands down.
I mean, I think his not getting along with the media, which most of them being writers, is the reason why he didn't get first ballot. But everybody, even his contemporaries, Deion Sanders, all of them say he should have been first ballot Hall of Fame. Shannon Sharp, they all said on the show today. Yeah. But in Eli's case, it's clearly obvious he should not be first ballot.
No, not first ballot, and I think he understands that as well too. I'm like Cam. Cam said it best. He said, "I deserve to get in twice if he gets in first ballot." It was a great gesture, you know. That gesture for him even getting nominated for it was a great gesture, and that was because of the moments that he had. And he did probably the unthinkable, beating, you know, it's like beating Patrick Mahomes twice, you know. And with a team that really shouldn't have been there at that time, we just had we put it all together at the last minute, and we was able to win 2 Super Bowls. But yeah, you're right. I mean, I agree. I was never really a big Eli Manning fan. We waited too long to move on from him, just like we waited too long to move on from Daniel Jones. I'm not sure what it is about our ownership. I'm not going to say leadership. I'm going to say ownership. When they grab onto a quarterback, they grab onto him. There was a lot of opportunities that could have been, you know, Geno Smith, Patrick Mahomes, but because of Eli not offending him, we put ourselves back about 10 to 15 years, I think, in my opinion, with the success of the program. So I'm still sour about that with Eli, and that's kind of why he's not, you know, I love what he did. I love that. He's not the guy that I would, you know, say deserves to be first ballot. At some point, he'll get in, though.
Right.
At some point, he'll get in.
No Peyton Manning, for sure.
Yeah, he's no Peyton Manning.
Welcome back.
Oh, she's back. All right.
Okay, guys, I don't know what's going on. Like, I literally hate this.
You good?
You there?
No, I'm not. I'm not here. Okay. Can you guys see me?
I can.
Yes.
Y'all can see me? Okay, now there I am.
Yeah. Now we can hear you.
Okay, so I'm sorry, guys. I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready to log in another way. I'll be back.
Okay.
Okay. So
So
Darren Woodson, he didn't get in.
no, only 4 people got in. It was
Jeez.
uh wait, who are the guys? I know Sterling
Sterling
Sharp,
Sharp, that
which
was
is great.
awesome. Sterling Sharp was great. Yeah.
Okay, here I am, guys.
Okay,
Okay.
cool.
Hold on.
Go ahead and name the four so you ready.
Jesus. All right. Can y'all hear me now?
For sure.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. So the people that got Darren Woodson got snubbed. And I Adam Vinatieri, of course, got snubbed. First brother duo, Shannon Sharp and his brother Sterling, are the first brothers now that are part of this esteemed group of gentlemen. And let me see who else. I had somebody else up here. Hold on, guys. This is what happens when you have to call in with your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it was that is extreme. That just lets you know how extremely competitive getting into the league, getting into the Hall of Fame is. Um, and as much as I thought that Vinatieri did earn the rights, he didn't. But you think about, you got Jared Allen, former Carolina Panther, former Minnesota Viking. I think he played with one other team as well. He's in there. Antonio Gates is in there
Yeah, I'm happy for Antonio.
as
Yeah.
He could
well.
have been got in.
Yeah.
Yes,
Should have been
yes,
there.
yes. These were really important people that, really the naysayers definitely weren't saying nay on this one, because these guys are extremely talented. It was long overdue. Just to talk a little bit about Jared Allen recorded 136 sacks in his 12-year career, the 12th most of all time, and twice leading the NFL. His career was the 22 he put up back in 2011. Just one sack shy of surpassing Michael Strahan for the most in a season. And you could appreciate that, Fern, because I know you're a Giants fan. He
Mm-hmm.
was also selected to all pro teams during his time with the Chiefs, Vikings, Bears, and then the Vikings again. Um, I don't know why they didn't give him all pro when he was at Carolina. I think that might be a misprint. I think he was also all pro in Carolina as well. Sterling Sharp, of course, the brother of Shannon Sharp, who has the podcast and all that stuff. As a Green Bay Packer, just amazing, amazing, amazing stats that he had. And they've now composed the first brother duo. He only played 7 seasons in the NFL, but he definitely made the most of it because his entire career was with the Packers. He was named to 5 Pro Bowls and was all pro 3 times. 3 times he led the
Mm.
NFL in receptions, and twice he led the entire NFL in touchdowns, including in his final season when he racked up 18 tutties. His seasons, 5 seasons, he recorded over 1,100 yards, and he put up 595 catches for 8,134 yards and 65 touchdowns total. Congratulations to Sterling Sharp. Antonio Gates, one of the greatest tight ends there ever was, stepping into this era, making the position what it is today. 116 touchdowns. Look at that, Travis Kelsey. Are the
The most
most ever by a tight end with 955 receptions, 11,841 receiving yards, are the fourth most in a tight end position in the NFL. He spent his entire 16-year career with the
Chargers.
San Diego Chargers, and he made 8 consecutive Pro Bowls and will go to Canton after just missing out one last year. So he was snubbed last year for his first ballot, but they got him in here his second ballot. Those gold jackets are definitely a coveted thing. I'm trying to make sure we get the other 2 people that were in here um before we hop off. But what were y'all's thoughts about the are you guys, I know we talked about those snubs. Those who actually got in, were you guys in agreement, that it was long overdue or what have you?
I don't have a problem with the guys that got in. I think Jared Allen should have been in too as well. I mean, To have 136 sacks in 12 seasons, that's a lot. He should have been, and he's actually led the league, and he's been on a couple of teams with the Vikings when they were actually really good. And so, and a big reason was him, and he played for the Chiefs too. I think he really should have been in a long time ago, but I'm glad he's in. And he's, for those of you that don't know, he's the guy that did the lasso celebration when he sacked the player.
He did.
With the mullet, yes. But also, Antonio Gates, he should have been first ballot. He's the guy that didn't even play tight end in college. He was a basketball player. So, I mean, and he flipped it around and made a whole different 180 Hall of Fame career as a tight end that played with the likes of LaDainian Tomlinson and Phillip Rivers, man. I mean, another team, that's a story for another day, that probably should have won a Super Bowl at some point.
That's a story for another day right there.
Wow. Yeah. But yes, sis, who was the other two people that made it?
It was only 4. It was Sterling, Jared, Antonio, and who was the first person we said?
Did Vinatieri get snubbed?
Yeah, he got snubbed. Pink Fan First said Steve Smith got snubbed as well.
Yeah.
And he definitely did. Eric Allen, Jared Allen.
Allen, yes.
And they're
Eric
also,
Allen.
yes, Antonio Gates.
So I get it why those guys, I'm just surprised that only 4 got in this year, but I get it why Eric Allen got in. He's got 54 interceptions. He played with the great Reggie White when they played for the Eagles. You know, I mean, and he played for the Saints too a couple of years, man. And I met him a couple of times in New Orleans, and really nice guy, humble guy, but he was a dominant cornerback. He had our first team All Pro. Man, yeah. But that Sterling Sharp, when you mentioned, a lot of people are going to be like, well, he only played a short time. Look.
Make your mark.
He made his mark, and he had an injury. I mean, he could have been a Hall of Fame. He could have had a long Hall of Fame career. Great player. He probably would have been on that Super Bowl team when they went 96. I just think that you compare him to the likes of Gale Sayers, whose career was cut short, but he went to the Hall of Fame because the short time that he was in, he had great numbers. And also Terrell Davis. Terrell Davis had the same amount of yards as Earl Campbell and Eric Dickerson the short time that he played, and he was dominant. One of those Super Bowls was on his back.
It was. That Broncos Super Bowl.
He definitely was not the leader of that team. It was Terrell Davis, 5th round draft pick. But yes, so Sterling Sharp was on a trajectory of being like a great player. He was a great player, but I mean like superstardom, and it just got cut short.
Yeah, and speaking of cutting it short, this is our time for tonight. Always a great time with Friday Night with the Fellas. We air live every Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We re-air at 2 a.m. on Roku, Northeast Professional Sports, and on Saturdays at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with the Huddle Sports Network. Fern, J-Train, always great to have you. Pink Fan Fur, thanks for working behind the scenes. Thank you, Bo Crouch, for the demographics that you guys see behind me in the backdrop. Thank you, everybody, for all the likes, loves, comments, shares, follows. Check us out on YouTube, Prim and Proper Sports. And with that, Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday, J-Train and myself will see you both on this Sunday morning big sports show. Fern will be joining us again because sometimes Fern and I just pop up like, hey, sis, let's just do this. Let's just do a little.
Do it.
Like last year after the Super Bowl, we just went live off the rip just for no reason.
Yeah, right off the rip. Yeah, we did.
And so we may be doing that, y'all. Hey, I'm not doing nothing after the Super Bowl. So stay tuned. You just never know when we go live. That's why you got to always subscribe so that you too can be in the know we go live. And thanks, guys, for all the likes and loves as well tonight. And of course, the birthday love that you all are sharing. I'm celebrating 50 straight days of 50. So with that, myself and the fellas will wish you guys a good night, and we'll see you when we see you.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.